Hello there, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm kind of new to the Zoom here, but I'll try to get some things up for you. Hi, I'm Arman from the Long Beach group, and what we're really excited about out here is a new well, we're calling it the health canon, survival canon, if you will. And I think if you can see the picture there. Is it up on the screen?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Yes, this is what we came up with, and it's really not a far throw from the pain pens. I'll go through its construction and how it was produced in a few minutes. Just go over it very briefly. What we did is we took two coils and we nano-coated them, which I'll show you the process that we did with that. It's a little different. So it's two coils with 18 lines, and we did the trident star formation at the bottom with the points. And there's a stylus in the middle, which gives us our third point around the quartz crystal. And I put a little bit of Gans, some herbal concoction that I came up with. And I'll tell you about how that worked when we're ready to do the testimonials. Or I can start explaining now, or would you like to see how it was built?
Show us how it's built. And then
okay. What we did, we think we may have come up with a new way to nano coat and produce the GANs. Let me show you what we did. What I'm doing is I'm using copper wool. It's the copper Chore Boy scouring pads that they sell. And what we're doing is we're nano coating these, and they come out pitch black. And the good thing about this way is, as Mike has mentioned, is the surface to volume ratio seems to be greater than that of the copper plates. I noticed when I was doing the copper plates making the GANs that the nano would sometimes kind of slide off and run down. And with this, if I can show you a picture here, is the way let me get that shot up here. This is the way that the GANs comes off the coils. It comes off in a cloud, and it's really beautiful to watch. And we have found, now this will produce close to 1 inch of GANs on the bottom. This is seawater in here. And I've got about 90 to 100 millivolts at about 1.2, 1.4 volts. With a zinc plate, and over here I've got some brass, which I can go into in a couple of minutes. And basically, yeah, what we did, we took the shiny Chore Boy scrub pad here. You can pretty much pick it up anywhere, and through that treatment it comes out like that. And then what we did is took the coils here. Let me show you a quick picture of the way that we're doing. This is the way we're doing the coils. We're doing a steam pressure cook. And in this particular picture, they've been through one 4 to 5 hour pressure cook, and there's still just a little bit of copper showing on some of them. So we dip them back. I mean, we put them back and steamed them again, and they came out nice and shiny black here. And this is what they look like with 18 turns. Now, after these were nano coated, I took the large coil and I swirled it in the CO2 GANs to let it dry. I took the inner coil into the CU, And with the stylus, I dipped it in this solution here. I'm sorry, this solution here, which I'm calling the honey. And this is one of my my favorite Ganses. It kind of has a mind of its own. It seems to be defying gravity almost here. It's kind of leaning to one side. It will shoot up occasionally, kind of wander around and come back, like almost like it's trying to escape. So that's in this jar here. So after they were coated, and the stylus was coated with this here, after they were coated, while they were drying, just about before they were dry, we put a voltmeter on them and was reading the discharging, bleeding, and reading the voltage. And I was putting the negative down on this end with the positive here. I wasn't switching polarities, just my intuition says it might mess up the way it's being structured. So I kept my meter leads the same on all of them with the negative at the point. And while they were drying is when I did that. And I was reading up to 100, sometimes 120 and higher millivolts. Just off these coils just sitting here while they were drying. So that was pretty interesting. That was pretty interesting. And then we assembled them in the tube. Let me get a picture here. Now we do have some very nice engineering drawings done by Robert of the actual construction. It might be a little easier to understand. He drew those according to the specs of the one I built. If that's a little easier for you. Not too complicated with the twisted ends at the top. It's just pretty straightforward device. But the key is the delivery system. And that is what I would like to go over. Mr. Keshe, I heard your beginning talk there, and that was quite inspiring. And I believe with this delivery system, putting the tube into the water and consuming it, we can turn ourselves into the alchemical gold from the inside out. It's amazing, Mr. Keshe, what you have brought to this world. Let me just share my experience with this. First, I'm a hypoglycemic diabetic. If I miss a meal during the day, it's really bad news for me. Bad headaches, confusion, things of that nature. After I made the pen, I consumed the water and just wasn't hungry and just went with it and didn't eat. And I didn't eat for the rest of the day. And I usually have a snack at night, sugary, to keep my glucose up while I sleep. I didn't feel I needed that, so I didn't do that. The next morning, I had a cup of coffee, no breakfast, and lunchtime, I forgot I had a lunch date, and I had some fish, a little bit of rice, and for the next 2 days, that was on Saturday, and on Tuesday evening, I finally said, I should probably eat, and you get such an upliftment from this. What I think is happening is it's energizing the plasma in my blood, and it's sending it directly into my brain, of course. And it's hard to explain the feeling, but the closest I can come is about a pot of coffee, but without any of the effects of jittering and nervousness and things like that. I had energy to clean the garage, rearrange the furniture in my bedroom, walk through Lowe's, which I'm usually leaning on a shopping cart halfway through. I'm just walking along like, you know, normal. And that was without food. That was after 3 days without food. So I have proven it beyond any doubt to myself. Now others may have different reactions. Everybody's a little different. a diabetic might take this and drink the water and wind up carrying something else he wasn't even aware of. I suppose that's possible. Anything really is possible. Just one more testimony. The lunch date that came over, an old friend of mine, he's 83 years old. He's also a diabetic, and he saw my glass of water and he goes, "What's that?" So I explained it to him and he goes, "Well, can I try it?" He's quite an adventurous guy. And I said, sure, it's not exactly tested yet, but I'm having very good results with it, so sure. I expect only good from it. So he drank 2 glasses of the glass you see on your screen. That was on a Saturday. If he has to take his medication daily to keep his levels down, especially first thing in the morning. He's been doing that for about 10 to 12 years now. And I talked to him on Wednesday, and he said he hadn't taken his medication since Saturday, since the day he drank the water. And I just went, what? Because I wasn't aware at that time it could be used for lowering the glucose levels or bringing them back to normal. So that was just a very pleasant, unexpected side effect, which turned out wonderful. And my levels are fine. Energy busting through the roof. If there's any questions I can answer, I'd be more than happy to.
What are those crystals in the tube?
Well, that's my tube. I put the quartz crystal. There's topaz, trilene, rose quartz. That's about it.
Could we have a copy of the blueprint to be added to the blueprint page, please?
I sure will, sir. Absolutely. And I'll go ahead and include these done by Robert.
Please.
Okay.
Let me explain this. That it's the first time we see the 3-pin base, and at the same time, different people use different ganses. You better give the detail of your honey pot. Maybe you're taking the energy from the honey pot, which is nano-coated. So in a way you have replaced the energy in a plasma condition. And this is more or less if you can give the direct life and the body can learn over time that it does not need it. Maybe that is the honey which in a way it transfers the energy of itself to the structure of your body.
It could be, and it's actually an exotic herb that's in Africa that I'm sorry?
Can you explain to us how you made that?
Well, I was going to explain that the ingredients in that, I would like to, if I could, forward those to you instead of...
Explain to us now. It has to be done. We are a public teaching. Explain to us what you've done, please. You have all the time in the world.
Okay. Okay, I was going to send that to you, but...
Oh, you still send it to us. There's no problem.
Okay, okay.
It is, so it'll go on a blueprint.
Oh, well, you want the actual recipe?
Of course. We don't like the color of your eyes. You think you're here for that?
I'm all to share it, Mr. Keshe, but I'm just I'm concerned about certain folks hearing about this.
Doesn't matter. We are stronger than ever. Those folks who are worried about it, that's their problem from today.
Okay, Mr. Keshe.
Is there any legal problem or issue with that?
There could be in this country, yes.
Pardon?
Yes, Rick.
There what?
wondering if there's a legal issue that he might have hesitation because of some legal problem, some legal thing. That's what I had in mind.
Ah, okay.
But if you can go ahead, then that would be great.
I can tell you the process, Mr. Keshe, of what I did.
Please, we need the process.
Absolutely, sir. And you can do this with many herbs, not just this particular one. I've heard people, anyway, what I did, sir, was I took this herb, and it's not the herb that nobody's ever heard of this, probably except you, Mr. Keshe, because you mentioned it in one of your teachings. It starts with an I, and you know this well. What I did was I made a tea bag.
What is the I?
Iboga. Okay, so what I did is I put it in.
What is that? Can you explain to us what it is?
Yeah, Mr. Keshe, let me explain. Of course, iboga is a African root which is used by shamans in Africa for psychedelic therapeutical, especially against addiction, is 90% effectivity rate, and it's highly useful and effective in for a lot of things.
Like what?
Addiction, that's for sure, and a lot of other.
To recover from addiction, or to make
recover, totally recover, like totally.
So the reason I accepted this presentation before mine, because when we received this the original communication from Arman, was that it can help with the recovery from addiction.
Yes, sir.
That's why we brought this out. That's why I allowed you to come on. Not only for diabetic, but for addiction research.
And I am so excited about this, Mr. Keshe. If I could explain a little further, I went down to Costa Rica years ago. I've been studying this and experimenting for years. And I went down to Costa Rica and worked with the shaman for a couple of weeks. And I saw firsthand heroin addicts, cold turkey, taking this substance. It's a tree bark is what it is. It's tree bark, like penicillin. And they took this, they had no withdrawal symptoms, and they walked out of there after a week, happy, smiling, no pain, no misery, just glad to be alive and with a spiritual enhancement. They were in touch with their inner self, and just life was good for them. So, and I saw that was several severe cases. They just walked out just fine. And that's one of the reasons I am so excited about this, is because it does work.
In your email to me, you mentioned this, and that's why we would like to go in deep detail. There is a problem, a huge problem with addiction around the world.
Yes, sir.
Especially your part of the world. It's your responsibility now that you can save a life of a man by drinking water from this and bring a lot of families into misery, to disclose it fully.
It'd be my dream.
So carry on. You have the whole day.
Okay.
How you do it, the way you do it.
I'm sure it needs some refinement, but this is the way I made my.
People will do it.
I know they will. Yes.
If it means that we can produce this in South America by the South American Keshe foundations to export to the rest of the world, that it can help. It's the right way to do it.
Absolutely.
The only people who suffer with this is the presidents and the kings who benefit by the drug trafficking.
Absolutely.
Like it, but so that's their problem, not ours.
Absolutely.
I think you make a very big hole in the pocket of the Queen of England with this.
Also,
they control most of the drug trafficking in Central East Asia.
Oh my gosh!
The money for the monarchy comes from, as you know, Afghanistan has been used heavily by the British government for promotion of drugs. That's how they did in Helmand area in Afghanistan. They brought the Chinese into their knees in last century, and this century they're using again Helmand area for the same purpose, for bringing drugs into Middle East and the rest of the world to control. The purpose of the war in Afghanistan was not Islamic, was to repossess the Arman area to control the most of the world through the drugs, through the British monarchy. We've seen it working. That's how they got the Hong Kong. They brought the Chinese to their knees with the drug. So maybe with what you're offering, so offer a solution to world people that they can plant as much as they like, and a glass of water can reverse it. So what you're teaching is more than what I teach, because you solve a problem for centuries for man, which the British found a way to finance their operations. So you have all the time. Explain it thoroughly.
Wow. Okay. Yes. Well, the way I was doing it was I made a tea bag like out of a coffee filter, in which I placed the bark into the container, and I hung it down about here in the Gans solution, and let it sit there for about 4 hours, and I could see it traveling out of the filter. I could see brown particles mixing, some type of absorption, like solvay coagula, something like that, coagulating down here with the Gans, and it had little brown particles. I don't know if you can see them in the glass, but I guess not. But here's a couple other little items. You just pop these in a sport bottle.
No, go back to where.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah, I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. Okay, let me get back here. And it just seemed to work fabulous that way. I washed it. Now, washing in alchemy is quite important. And I'm assuming the number of times, like 3, 6, and 9, is always recommended. I've been doing it a minimum of 3 and about 6 times. I believe I did the one in my pen about 6 times.
What do you mean by 6 times? What did you do?
I washed it. I took the Gans out of the container. I poured it into a jar, and I let it sit for about a day and a half, until everything settles on the bottom. And then I sucked the excess water off the top of the solution, all the water, until it's down to about maybe 1/8 or 1/4 of an inch above the actual solution at the bottom, the Gans. And then I take distilled water and I swirl it around. Not too violent, but I swirl it around. And I watch things settle, and I let it sit for another day. I take that water out the same way with a hypodermic, a turkey baster, usually works good. And repeat that process 3 to 6 times, and that's the washing that you do to get it purified and to get all of the gross material out that might be left. And it comes out very, very clean. And then after that, let me see if I can get the picture of, after, well, where was the other picture? After it came out, it looked like that.
So repeat the process. You took the bark of the tree or the root.
It's the outside bark, correct?
Outside bark.
Yes.
So you placed it in a tea bag and you put it while the CO2 was getting produced with the copper and the zinc in the container.
That's correct. Because I was figuring during that process, the information, the actual information, was being transferred also.
Mm-hmm.
That was my intuition, so to speak, is that all the information will travel and get accumulated and be transferred into the test tube. And
okay, let me ask a question. We have people
Sure.
from which country did you go to get the bark, or where can you get this bark?
It's a small country in Africa called Gabon.
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 Where else do you get it from?
That's the only place I know of. There's tribes there that that's their. It's very celebrated through all the tribes in Western Africa. So
Okay.
if you're adventurous, you can search online.
Okay, wait, hold on. Is Alex online? Alex, you're there? I was talking to him this morning. He was online. Where can you get this material easily in the
Yes,
West?
Mr. Keshe, can I show you? I have it here with me. It's a powder. It's a powder. You can get it legally in Austria.
Okay. Listen, two of you, both Arman and Kevin. Is Renan online? Renan, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here, sir.
Okay. Let's put a team together. This is our responsibility. Now, if this is correct and what we've seen works, I don't say if it looks like it is working. Can we put a test trial in Philippines and you three get together with the innovation team in Philippines and produce something like 100 units of these, very urgent, and send it across the Keshe Foundation contacts around the world, and let it be tested with the drug addicts and people with a diabetic.
Okay, sir.
Kevin, can you provide that to Renan?
Well, I can get it here. The other question is, I mean, can we send this to Philippines?
Pardon? Hello?
Right. Illegal some places. There are other herbs and stuff that are very similar, though. Ayahuasca, which is made of malo root and malo bark, and the
Who's
ayahuasca.
speaking?
Robert Stubblefield, Utah.
Hi, Robert. Yeah.
There are other ways. Even the San Pedro cactus has small amounts of the compound.
Okay, let's solve the biggest problem for humanity. Now we found the solution to it, most probably. First of all, they don't need to drink it. We can just produce these pens and just give it to countries which are heavily what I call loaded by the nations to drain the finances from them. I'm sure we can get the support of the Iranian government. I'll speak to the Iranian leadership in transferring some of these pens for tests in Tehran. We can literally take them in immediately. We give the full support from the Iranian government in that respect. What I would like you to do is to develop as many as these pens, and any of you who are listeners and you have access to these, and give it to the people who are drug addicts. And it's just a pin in the glass of water can change the life of a lot of people. The drug addicts don't suffer themselves, it's their families which pay for it. The children, their wives, the mothers who brought up these youngsters, and what I call the dragons of the money, which sits in the kingships, have supported it to control. So if any of you have access to this, follow the blueprint, which is, I think this is more important than what we're going to show or teach today. Use this and report it back on the testimonial. Renan, take Arman as part of the innovation team and let's work it out.
Yes, sir.
And let's see how we can change this, if it can be changed. Any of you who have and understood, we're going to spend a lot of time on this today, that we understand the process, report back to us. How long did it take Arman to see the result?
Well, let's see. Do you mean like just the GANs or the whole process?
The whole process from the time you drank it and you saw the result.
Oh my goodness. Ah, geez. Less than an hour. Less than an hour. I felt more alert. I felt like I had the energy of a couple of cups of coffee without the coffee. Appetite was gone. Well, not gone, but I just wasn't hungry. You know, I was gone. And the rest of the day, I flew through it. It was marvelous. So about an hour, yeah.
Okay. This, what you see, can affect the drug addicts and diabetics.
One thing, Mr. Keshe, with the diabetics, in case there's some listening out there, they be cautioned because you still need to check your levels and still have plenty of food around. So,
yes,
you know.
Yes, are not fully understood.
Yes, I just want to share that.
We do not say we have found the solution.
No, I just wanted to share.
It to be tested, that's for other people to share.